During the following week after Buck had put himself out of action, Mr. Start had reached out to British Railways to try and work out a solution for the lack of tractive effort on the railway. At first, they were reluctant to send any engines at all, given the line's history with rail safety. But after a lot of back, forth, and a little pinch of blackmail, British Railways gave in and promised to send him 2 engines that they no longer had any use for. One cold autumn morning, Mr. Start went to the sheds to brag to the engines about his accomplishment with scamming British Railways. However, as soon as he saw that King Richard was in the sheds, he decided to pipe down and tell them in a more calm and professional way. "Alright, you bastards, listen up. I've just been to the works to check up on Buck's repairs."
Oh, how did that go then?
Pretty bad, actually. Turns out his frames have started cracking due to his continuous derailment, so he'll be there for a while.
Well, aren't we lucky then? That's the best news we've had all day.
Not really, Clark. With Buck out of action, we're severely lacking in tractive effort.
So, can't we just cut down the amount of trains going on and off the branch then to compensate?
Unfortunately not, Clark. If it were that easy, I would have done it already. We have a quota we need to keep to, and we're already struggling to do so after 3 of our engines got reallocated. If I may, sir, could you just not ask British Railways for some engines? I'm sure they'd be kind enough to send some your way. Well, funny you mentioned that, King Richard. I've had a long talk with the people over at British Railways about this already. Now, while they weren't too willing to send us any at first, we've finally come to an agreement, and they will be sending out 2 engines to aid us on a permanent basis. Well, how kind of them. Who are these newcomers then? Anyone we know of? Hang on, let me check the manifest. Let's see here. It says we're getting 5357 and 4073. They should be here around summertime. So that means we'll get a 4300 class and...
Caerphilly fucking castle, lads!
Everyone looked over as Drax came up to the sheds, his smoke box lit up with joy. Ah, so you know of him then?
He was the first castle ever built. He's a hero. I mean, he's not quite a night owl, but he's still a hero.
Right. Anyways, I could have sworn they were going to send freight or mixed traffic engines. Ah well, I guess that just means I can put Ramsey on some more permanent goods work.
Oh, piss off.
Alright then, that's it for now. Keep up with the borderline competent work, lads. And with that, Mr. Starr turned on his heel and walked off, leaving the engines to their business. The weeks went on, and the engines were starting to look more and more forward to getting some extra help with the heavy workload. No one, however, was as excited as Drax, who was over the moon about Caerphilly Castle and would not shut the hell up about it. And while some of the engines just ignored him, the others got more and more pissed off by the starstruck 7200. Then, one morning, on May the 4th, Ramsey was resting in a siding after his morning mail run. He had just dropped off the last lot of mail before preparing to go on to Redwick to take the express to Reading. He was just about to move to the main line when suddenly...
Sorry, mate. Can't stop. No brakes.
Oh, what the fuck?
After the dust had settled, the County opened his eyes, still in a bit of a daze, and looked down. His front bogies were derailed, and his buffer beam was a little whacked, but other than that, he was fine. He slowly pulled his eyes off the ground to see who had just rammed him, but he couldn't believe his eyes. There, in front of him, stood a Midland 4F. But what was a Midland engine doing all the way out here? But before he could ask any questions, the strange newcomer spoke up.
Sorry about that, lad.
Listen here, bud. I enjoy quick shag as much as the next engine, but this is over the top even for my standards.
Then, Ramsey looked at the smokebox number plate of the engine. It read 4073.
Hold on a minute. You're...
Midland 4F number 4073 at your service. But you can call me Pat.
Pat. Okay. Well, guess what, Pat? You derailing me has just delayed the express and probably put me out of action for a while.
I see. Not to worry, I can soon fix it. Now, where did I put that leather-bound stick with a hand?
Pat, for what the shit?
Ah, Mr. Mogul. How nice of you to finally join us. I was just getting acquainted with our new shedmate here.
Oh, for goodness sake. I'm terribly sorry about this, chap. Where might I find the nearest crane so I can get you back on the rails?
If you go a bit further up the line, you should find a diesel shunter, a black 04. He usually handles the rescuing round here.
I see. I shall go get him straight away. Don't go anywhere, yeah?
Yeah, fuck you too.
A bit further up the line, Clark, Drax, Banbury Castle, and Mr. Start were in the sheds talking when Darius rolled up. I've had enough of this discussion, Clark. Just because you're painted black, it doesn't mean you can say the word Oh, hello there. Yes, hello. I'm sorry to interrupt. My name is Darius. I'm one of the new engines that was sent here. I'm looking for, Mr. Stodd? Yes, that will be me. B.A. Start, at your service. And you're right on time. Welcome to... Mr. Stard stopped and looked past Darius, peering into the distance. Hang on a minute. Where's the other engine? I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but there has been an accident with the other engine in a county a few stations down. Endon, I believe it was. We need a crane down there ASAP.
Wait, what?
Oh, you have got to be shitting me. Right, Banbury, I need you to take the express to Reading. Of course. Clark, go get the crane. We need to...
No worries, sir. I'll get the crane. Don't worry, Cavilli, I'm coming.
Oh, okay then. Well, you just go shunt then, Clark.
Fine, jeez. I didn't want to help anyway.
Wait, why is he going to Cavilli? Is he whistling the line? No. Isn't he the new engine that came with you? No, sir. The engine that came with me is a Midland 4F named Pat. You're joking, right? Dead serious, sir. But the manifest said we were getting 4073. There has to be some sort of mistake here.
Only mistake here is you, sir.
There is no mistake, sir. His number is 4073. Apparently he hasn't been given a BR number yet. Mr. Stard was speechless. So you're telling me that British Railways...
Ha ha! You got played, sucker.
Fuck off, Clark! Anyways, Darius was it? Can you please take me down to Endon? Someone has to be there to calm Drax down. Of course, sir. It would be my pleasure.
Man, Drax is gonna be so pissed when he finds out.
By now, Drax had picked up the crane and was hauling ass towards the site of the accident. His mind was racing faster than his wheels. He couldn't bear the thought of his idol being damaged and off the rails. He was cursing Ramsay for laying a buffer on him. But as he got close to the site of the accident, he saw no sign of Cavilli, only an unfamiliar shape of an 060 tender engine. He came to a stop next to the two arguing engines, with a look of confusion on the smoke box.
What the hell is going on here?
Oh, we're just having a nice cup of tea, talking about the weather.
What does it look like, you moron?
No, not that. Cavilli. Where the hell is Cavilli?
Who's that? Another one of your Western friends?
No, you idiot. Who the hell are you, anyway?
Drax looked closer at the stranger, finally calming himself enough to take in the situation fully. He recognized the engine standing in front of him as a Midland 4F, and upon closer inspection, he saw that the stranger wore the same number as Cavilli Castle did. But he was no Westerner. He was a Midland engine. British Railways couldn't have, could they? His realization dawned upon him, his confusion quickly turning into anger.
Oh, you have got to be shitting me.
Calm down, Drax. No need to...
Calm down? The fuck I will. Those bastards cheated us and now we're stuck with this Midlander.
This Midlander has a name, you know. Pat, at your service.
Right, let me tell you exactly how little I care about your name right now.
The three engines kept going at it for a while, until Darius pulled up alongside them with Mr. Stard in his cab. He quickly climbed down from the cab and walked in between the three engines to try and defuse the situation. Alright, everyone, shut up! Why are you all arguing? And Drax, why haven't you started re-railing Ramsay yet?
With no due respect whatsoever, sir, we've been had. This engine isn't Cavilli Castle. He's...
Yes, I know, Drax. And you would have too, had you not rushed off like a knight in rusty armor. Darius filled me in on everything about our new colleague here. He turned to Pat, looking over the newcomer closely. While he didn't have much experience with engines from other regions, the reputation of the 4F was not one to be scoffed at. Well then, Pat, was it? I must say, that was quite the entrance. Not even Buckleberry was able to crash this quick when he arrived 2 years ago.
All in a day's work, sir.
Well, no matter. You're still on the rails, so no real damage done. Eh, Ramsey?
Arsehole.
That's the spirit. Now then, Drax, get a move on and get Ramsey back on the rails. Bambury will cover his express run. As for you two... He turned to the newcomers. Darius, there's a stopping passenger train starting from Manifold Junction in about 2 hours. I want you to double-head it with Clint to learn your way around the line, as well as timetables, seeing as it will be one of your primary jobs here. Certainly, sir. Where is this junction then? I was a bit too preoccupied trying to watch over Pat here to take notes of station names. It's all the way back at the mainline connection. Clint should be getting prepared in the roundhouse by the time you arrive. Excellent. I shall be on my way at once. As Darius moved off, Mr. Stark turned back to Pat. As for you, Pat, you'll be heading up to Redwick, which is our mainline terminus. Up there, Clark will show you the ropes of the yard operations, so you can marshal a train together that you and Darius will take back down to the junction. That way, you can both properly learn the ins and outs of our operations.
Very well. I shall head up at once.
Excuse me, sir, but may I have a word?
Yes, you may, Drax.
Are you seriously going to keep this guy around? British Railways tricked us into having him.
Yes, Drax. I am aware of that. I am the one who got tricked after all.
So, what are you going to do about it?
Well, to put it bluntly, nothing.
Wait, seriously?
Look, Drax, I know you wanted Caphilly to come here, but we're short enough on engines as it is. If I send Pat back now, we're going to be short on tractive effort. It's been difficult enough running things here after Seb, Axel, and Levi got reallocated.
I guess you're right. But that doesn't mean I'll be all bum chummy with him.
I'm not asking you to be Bessie mates. I am, however, ordering you to accept that he's here as a help. Are we clear?
Fine. Fuckface.
What was that?
Nothing.
Thought so. Mr. Stark stayed at the side to watch over the rescue op and to inspect the damage done to Ramsey. Sadly, his front bogie had been damaged in the accident, and his buffers were a little bit twisted from the impact inflicted by Pat. Which makes no sense at all, because Pat was also inflicted by the same impact, but somehow got away scot-free. Who even writes this fucking piece of shit? Moving on. Darius had gotten to the junction about 30 minutes before the local was supposed to leave. Clint was already at the platform waiting for him, and quickly filled him in on the timetable and other useful information to keep in mind while running up the line. He was very impressed on how well Darius was doing on his first proper run on the railway, and was confident that he would make a fine addition to the fleet. On the other side of the line, however, things weren't going that smooth between Pat and Clark. While Pat hadn't caused any more accidents since he arrived that morning, his random quirks quickly got on the nerves of the diesel shunter, who already had a short fuse. But soon enough, Pat knew his way around the yards and got the train ready just in time for him and Darius' return journey to the junction, much to the dismay of the mogul. That night in the sheds at Redwick, the engines were talking away like old friends. Darius had made a splendid first impression on the other engines, and was settling in like he had been a part of the fleet for years. I must say, Darius, your performance today was more than adequate. The passengers were very pleased, and so was I. I will be sure to let Mr. Stodd know when I see him tomorrow. Ah, shucks. I was only doing my job. It's not that different from my days down at Swindon. This is my first time away from home base, after all.
So you've been at Swindon your whole life? Doesn't that get boring and repetitive?
You'd think so. But every day there was something different to do. I remember this one time back in 1934 when me... what the actual fuck? Everyone switched their gaze ahead to see Pat reversing into the sheds. However, he was not coming in light engine. Pat? What's that?
This is my new pet. It's a stupid brake van, but I'm keeping it.
Hang on. I recognize that brake van. We've been trying to move it from Colford since the end of the war. How the hell did you get it to come with you?
Well, it's quite simple, really. I've been working with trucks all my life. It wasn't too hard to get this lovely lad moving.
Huh. Who would have thought? Looks like you'll make for quite the fine addition to our freight fleet.
He might, but I'm still a bit miffed about Caerphilly though. I can't believe I missed out on meeting him.
Well then, it looks like next time we get a newcomer with a famous number, you'll have to think more
Don't you say it.
carefully.
That's it, you're dead to me.
After that horrible dad joke from Clint, the engine slowly drifted off to sleep. Well, all except two. Anyways, the newcomers had certainly made a memorable first impression. But how will their futures on the line shape out? Will the others rope them in on their plan? Or will British Railways win them over with the false promises? That is a story for another time.
Not to worry, I can soon fix it. Oh no!